Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our monthly talk. My name is Charlie. I'm a registered counselor for MindStory. So before I start today's topic, let me introduce a bit about MindStory. So in MindStory, we provide services to those who have academic delays, sensory delays, developmental delays, behavioral and emotional difficulty, as well as physical delays. Okay, our team consists of different background or different professionals. We have academic support, which is a special needs teacher. We have behavior therapists, clinical psychologists, a counselor, occupational therapists, reading therapists, as well as physiotherapists. You can contact us at this number for any inquiry, or you can WhatsApp us of any topic that you would like to know or follow up with our upcoming monthly talk. Our operating hours is Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are open on Saturday, Sundays via prior appointment only, and we are closed during public holidays. Okay, you can check us out at our Facebook page, at mindstory.my, our website at mindstory.com.my, Instagram mindstory.my, and our LinkedIn Mindstory or Pusat Latihan Kanak-Kanak Berkebutuhan Khas. Okay, here in our pages, we will update our monthly talk as well as our short courses. Currently, we have short courses running by our own in-house occupational therapists regarding sensory development in children. If you'd like to know more, you can check our Facebook out or WhatsApp us for more information. Okay, so today we have our in-house teacher treating. Our topic today is about early intervention program. So recently I have some parents or other professionals who are interested to know more about early intervention program, or in short, it's also known as EIP. So today we have our SEN or specialist teacher and our reading therapist, teacher treating, to share with us about EIP. Okay, so good evening, teacher treating.
Good evening.
Okay,
Hi,
so
everyone.
so today we're gonna talk about EIP. So before I start, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Tri Ting. So, I'm a SEN teacher working with special needs children. And also, what I do is I do a lot of academic support and also EIP program for our special needs kids and also children with developmental delay. Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. From teacher treating, so we know a bit about her background. She teach children with special needs. Okay, so today the topic we are going to talk about early intervention. I assume a lot of us have a lot of questions. So if you have any questions throughout this 1 hour talk, feel free to put in the comment box. Okay, if you have any question regarding EIP. So at the meantime, also we will be sharing teacher treating's experience and opinion about EIP or early intervention program. So okay, so teacher treating,
Yes.
like everyone are quite interested, including myself, because there's a lot of talking on or discussion about EIP. So what is EIP?
Okay, EIP is actually the short form of Early Intervention Program. So Early Intervention Program, this program is actually catered for children under 6 years old who need support in their development in order to get them ready to the formal learning environment. So this program is actually includes educational and therapeutic support for children that you find them have delay in their developmental milestone. So what we do in this program, we cater for to actually help them to actually bridge the gap for them to be ready for school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, is it okay? Before I go into the program,
Yes.
can I know, is this EIP or early intervention program done in a group setting or one-to-one setting?
Okay, EIP program is actually done in a group setting.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
this group setting is actually, in the teacher ratio, teacher and children ratio is about one teacher to 4 children. Okay, a lot of parents, they have this concept whereby I would like to share today.
Yes, please.
Parents has this concept as in, okay, EIP is actually catered for special needs kids. All right. Actually, if you were to ask me, because special needs kids, you have different category. For example, ADHD, autistic kids. So these kids actually, other than early intervention program, they actually needs a lot of one-to-one intervention. For example, physio, for example, speech, okay, to cater with their individualized needs. So what EIP is doing is actually is a environment for them to actually apply all these skills that they have built in a group setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it's a group program. So one
It's a group
teacher,
program.
okay, one teacher to 4 students, and it's quite interesting because that's what I'm going to ask next. Who this cater to, and like it's not only for children with special needs. That's what including myself or and majority will think that EIP is for those who have difficulty to go to kindergarten and whatnot, and mostly are children with special needs. But nowadays we can see delays in development, certain development is not because of they have autism and whatnot, but
Correct.
yeah, and we can see that like a number of things. So basically those who have difficulty going to
Yeah.
normal
For
school.
example, let me give you an example. Like, okay, we have gone through 2 to 3 years of the pandemic.
Mhm.
So after this pandemic, the post-pandemic, the current trend,
Mhm.
okay, of children that they come to, for example, the preschool.
Mhm.
Okay, they started their preschool early, like in the age of 3 years old, or maybe 4 years old, 5 years old. Okay, so but before that, okay, during the pandemic, during the lockdown, they have not been exposed to a formal learning environment, which means a lot of their developmental stages, maybe because of the lack of exposure. So a lot of these parts and parcel is missing. So EIP program is actually to cater for this group of kids to actually help them to, fill up the missing pieces, for them to bridge the gap, so that they, okay, once they are, because this is an intensive program, so when they come in, okay, they learn in a smaller group, okay, on what are the things that they are lack of. So once they are ready for the school, for the a bigger class size, yes, the teachers will be, they will be being transit to a bigger class size, to the normal school.
So basically, EIP address the gap, like which that doesn't mean it only applies to children with special needs. So other kids who have difficulty be in a group setting or have difficulty catching up. Hence, there is a small gap among same age children. So let's say this child is 4 years old. He or she is slightly slower in terms of catching up or counting or reading and whatever the teacher is working with. So let's consider a gap, and then he or she might join EIP to help them to catch up with other children in a smaller group setting. Because so nowadays we can see that in kindergarten there are like 10 of them or 7 of them. Sometimes it's a bit hard.
Sometimes it's more than 10 in a group setting, because kindergarten is a preschool is a school. All right. So for example, 4 years old. 4 years old in 4 years old preschool syllabus, they do a lot of writing. They started to do slightly more writing than the 3 years old. And then they will start tracing, they will start to do their basic pencil gripping. So because for kids who has lack of exposure, maybe it's their first time gripping a pencil, doing doing the writing and all that. So the motor skill is not mature yet.
Yeah, okay.
So that's where they need the support of this program to actually help them to get ready for that.
Okay, yeah, because like you said just now, we have the pandemic MCO for 2 years, and then a lot of them, from home base suddenly back to school.
Yes.
Used to be alone or small group, and then now going back to the school. So a lot of the routine, they maybe they feel anxious, they are not ready.
Yes.
Yeah, they have difficulty sharing with other kids. All this we have to take into consideration. So meaning that EIP not only cater for children with special needs, but also any other children who have difficulty
in adapting to the school. Yeah.
Group, or yes, school and also group environment because it's a group program.
Correct.
Okay, that's very good. So now we get an idea. I sort of get the idea of like how EIP, because in my in my head it was like, okay, EIP, I think it can be individual or can be group. So now hearing from you yourself as a teacher, as a teacher that run EIP, so I can see that what or how EIP is and what is it focused on, like to address the gap of the children attending kindergarten. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the population. It also can help with other children on special needs. So the next part is I'm going to ask you about the program. Okay. So like you mentioned just now, some of the kids might need individual therapy, but in your EIP you say that it has both educational and therapeutic support. So can you briefly explain what type of support? So what are you doing right now, like in terms of educational and therapeutic support?
Okay. So for example, okay, kids, especially special kids, okay, they are undergoing certain kind of interventions such as behavior therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, and all this. So for EIP, we focus a lot on the developmental milestone. So let me share you something.
So we're going to go through one by one, for those who join us, because for special needs, we know how the process is. They go for one-to-one, okay, and then after that, teacher treating will explain to us why the program not only for special needs, but it's applicable to anyone who have what she mentioned, developmental delays. Okay. Oh, right. So yes.
Okay. Can you see my sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
You might want to put it in the full screen. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
All right. Okay. So we focus a lot on the developmental milestone, okay, which has the 4 main domains. Okay. We have social emotional, language development, cognitive, which consists of their learning, their thinking, their problem solving, and also their physical. So physical includes their motor skill. Okay, so in EIP program, we do a lot of, we have each of the children, we have the IEP, individualized educational program, which means when they come in, okay, they will undergo an observation, okay, to actually check out in the developmental milestone, which part of the developmental milestone is missing. So let me give you an example. For example, a 2-year-old kid. Okay, a 2-year-old kid, For social emotional milestone, okay, you will notice, the 2-year-old kid will notice when others are hurt or upset, okay, will look at your face to see how to react in new situation. These are the social emotional part that a 2-year-old kid will develop.
So this is okay in a way for those who are in who has a psychology background. This is what we call domain. Okay,
Yes.
social emotional domain. But in
Correct.
layman terms, this is like the milestone that supposedly at the age of 2 years old, a child at least started to notice
Yes.
like upset in terms of social and emotional. Okay, okay.
Correct. Like language, they will reach a certain part, okay, a certain stage whereby they will ask things, they will point to things and say, where is, they will point in a book, like asking, where is the bed? So they will try to communicate with you, okay, or using gesture, they will wave, they will point, they will, do blowing kiss, they will say yes and nodding. So all these are the developmental milestone of the 2-year-old kids. So in the EIP program, so we will go through all these domains, all these social emotional milestones, language milestone, cognitive milestone, movement and physical milestone. So, and check out which are the things that this kid is missing.
So they are unable to do it.
Correct.
Okay,
so when they reach 2 years old, they are supposed to do all these things. But now they are 2 years old. What are the things that is missing? So meaning, if the child is going on par with the developmental stages, means
they will check all the boxes.
Correct. They will check all the boxes.
Okay, okay.
So if there are things who is missing, okay, there are things who are missing. Okay, what next? The next thing we can do is, okay, we develop the educational plan, okay, according to this child's ability, and we design the program, okay, the activity based on the things that he is missing, and to try to bridge the gap.
So this is the support that you are saying. For example, if the child has lack of emotional social, doesn't show reaction to new situation, doesn't react to crying, and so then this is the area that will be targeted in the program.
Correct. For example, this child is 2 years old, and he or she is supposed to be able to eat with a spoon. He is actually able to, slowly develop self-feeding. But he can't really actually self-feed. So in the EIP program, okay, in design in a way to actually guide the child to actually learn how to self-feed.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So basically, these are the things that included in the program.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then, so based on that, we have to, like, you will check all the milestones for each year for the children based on that. And then, okay, in terms of, okay, so different child will have different, meaning that they have different IEP based on what their gaps are, and then they will still do it in a group.
Yes, they will still do it in a group. So for example, this child is 3 years old, okay, or 4 years old. So he is yet to develop the right pencil gripping. He can't, maneuver his hand while he's gripping a pencil to actually do tracing. But
so So this one, we can use this for children with no other underlying factors or don't have
Yeah.
diagnosis.
Because okay, this child developmental milestone,
Mm.
okay, every child actually has to undergo all these things. So
So
by
they all
which,
have.
yeah, by which stage of this, in 2 months. So the baby, okay, 2 months old baby, what are the things that a 2 months old baby can achieve? And then 8 months old, and then gradually, to 24 months and 26 months. So going according to their chronological age. So there are a certain developmental milestone that they need to achieve. So if they don't achieve to that certain developmental milestone, it is considered a delay. So when this delay, that is where the program comes in to actually help them to fill in the gap.
Yeah, okay. So for those who join us today, if you are familiar with children with special needs, because this is, we are discussing the context children without special needs, yeah. So for children with, in context of children with special needs, they also can join EIP, but it's just that this delay will be focused in one-to-one first. Okay, for example, like language, the child have delay in language, which is they require additional therapy. Okay, and then once they attend to the therapy, then they will be introduced to a group. So that's the process for those who are familiar with children with special needs. So the step by step is very different. So for as what Teacher Chui Ting have shared, for those who doesn't have underlying factors or doesn't have any diagnosis from doctor, so they will use this milestone to check, okay, or or your child is already in school, no diagnosis, just that slightly slower or struggling to catch up with the school or kindergarten. So this is where you might consider EIP to help to boost the child on par, and then based on what is missing in these 4 domains or this milestone, and then reintroduce back to the group setting.
Correct.
So basically, this is what the EIP is like.
Actually, okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, actually, there is another situation whereby parents actually have this concern. Okay, if my child, he is currently attending preschool, but he has difficulty in adapting to preschool, can I also send my child for EIP? The answer is actually yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
both EIP and school, we do together concurrently.
Oh, okay. So it's like class tambahan lah.
Yes, it's like an extra class.
Additional class.
Correct, extra class to actually boost on what is actually missing, okay, on that child, so that the child can easily, transit in the school.
Okay. So it's slightly different with children with special needs, because children with special needs is more straightforward because they have diagnosis. Doctor already say you have to go through certain therapy. Most of the therapy that we know is one-to-one. Then we can introduce them to group setting, which is EIP. So there's a step by step. So for children without diagnosis or without any special needs, they can do this simultaneously, 2 classes.
Yes, and also actually for special needs kids, there are some clients of mine. They are attending to normal preschool. Okay, but because normal preschool, the teachers in normal preschool, they are mostly early childhood trained. They are ECE, early childhood educational teachers. So for EIP, okay, they are special needs educational trained. So a lot of students have this have come across this experience, like, okay, my special needs kids, he is undergoing intervention, okay, with a special needs teacher. So in this when he is undergoing intervention, okay, he has no problem with instructional taking. He has no problem with setting a reward, meaning in the class he is able to actually adapt well by and with taking instruction, and also he can understand reward. Okay, he has no behavior issue. But in a preschool setting where a group setting, okay, that's where the kids has behavior issue. Because when you are, it's different. When you're in intervention, you are one-to-one, okay, with the teacher, with the special therapist. Okay, when you are in a group setting, it's a totally different thing, whereby group setting, maybe teacher gives instruction to the whole group, okay, to apply that skill in the normal group setting. You will see the differences. That's where you can see, some of my parents, they receive complaint from the preschool teacher. My son is not following instruction. My son has this behavioral issue and all that. So that's where the EIP actually comes in, because EIP is a group setting with a smaller class size. Okay, so it goes concurrently, whereby after the one-to-one intervention, all the skills, instructional taking, behavioral skills, after they develop, after they are equipped with, this is where they sort of like apply it, because in the group setting, in the EIP, you are with a group. So that's where they apply it in the group, sort of like it's a mock setting compared to the normal group setting. So that's where they start to an EIP start to train. Okay, in this when teacher gives this instruction to the whole group, okay, what must I do? So they learn all these things. They learn how to apply, generalize
into group setting.
And the next step will be helping the kid himself to be able to listen to the teacher in the preschool.
So it can be in a way forward, like from one-to-one, transition to small group, and then transition to bigger group. So it can be from bigger group to a small group before transition back to a bigger group. So that's how EIP support whatever delay or whatever struggle that they experience in a classroom or in a bigger group, they can go attend to EIP.
Yes.
So it's a smaller group setting. Okay. And then also like because I'm not from the academic background. So when I heard about EIP, to me it's like, okay, it's therapy at the very early stage.
It does have the therapeutic effect, but the therapeutic effect, I would say, for special needs kids that need more stimulation, more therapeutic effect, then you will need to have one-to-one. So one-to-one intervention. And one-to-one intervention, the next step will be, how are you going to generalize it in the group setting?
Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
Can I know the age for EIP? Like how young and how old? What's the limit?
For EIP, we have as young as less than 2 years old, to 6 years old.
Okay. Is 6 the maximum?
Yes. So 6 years old, more than, because it's early intervention, you see, more than 6 years old, okay, you can actually go for academic support. It depends on what are the things that parents would like to focus on. So 6 years old and below. So what we have is we actually group them according to their age. So less than 2 years old will be in a group. 2 to 3 years old will be in another group. Okay. Sorry, less than 2 years old, 3 to 4 years old, another group.
Mhm.
Okay, and then 5 to 6 years old, another group. Okay, let me share you with this. Can you see my sharing?
Yeah. Can you make it full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, the class group is
Less than 2 years old. Yeah.
3 to 4 in a group, and 5 to 6.
Correct, correct. But of course, this depends on the ability of the child also. So for example, there are a possibility that the child is 3 years old. Okay, but the developmental milestone, okay, the ability that the child is able to, achieve now is actually less than 2 years old. So there is a possibility. So we will put the child under the less than 2 years old, and slowly once the gap is being bridged, then we move the child to 3 to 4 years old.
Oh, okay. So meaning that the chronologically age can be 3, but that doesn't mean that in developmental wise it will be 3. Then
Yes.
he or she belong to the 2 years old lah.
Correct.
Okay. So we have to move them according to their developmental age also.
Yes, which is why when student comes in, okay, we group them by their age. Okay, we group them by their age, but okay, usually we will give them a month of observation. So for example, this child is 5 to 6 years old. Okay, 5 years old. So we will group them by their age and also their size. We will group him into 5 years old for the first month. And then this first month is actually an observation. So with the activity that we carry out in 5 years old, so teachers in the class will be assessing the child. So this child, this child is 5 years old, but in the developmental checklist, which are the things that is missing? So after the 1 month of observation, okay, after the IEP, individualized educational plan comes out, so he may be probably need, because of the developmental milestone, some of the elements is missing. So there is a possibility for, okay, this child, his ability is actually 3 to 4 years old. So there is a possibility to actually move him down to the 3 to 4 years old class group. Okay, so to actually work on and build up his skill.
Okay, all right, that's very good, because that's what I'm about to ask. The next, how do you like register or get into the process of EIP? So it's good that you share. So first, you say that they will have to go through an observation. So the child register, get into the EIP program, and then the teacher will take about a month to come up with the individualized education plan. For those who are familiar with children with special needs, we have, when you send your child to academic classes, this is what normally the special needs teacher will do. They will come up the plan, IEP they call it, or individualized education plan. And then about a month, and then you determine which class they go lah. Okay, so that's the process. So for those who join us today, if you have any question you want to know more, please, you can comment there. Just in case I might miss out the things that you want to ask. Okay, because I'm just asking based on some of the parents that share their concern with me, and also from my experience, because I'm not very well versed in EIP, especially academic part. Because if we talk about therapy, yes, we also have what we call early intervention, because as long as you have received intervention below 5 years old or 16 months, like you attend intensive OT, intensive physio, intensive speech, that's considered as intervention. But if you, like, let's say in academic point of view, like you might heard, like I myself, I work closely with some of the doctors, some other health professional way, they might recommend EIP. So this is where I got confused. Like, okay, you are attending therapies for your like difficulties or delays in certain development. Why do you still need EIP? So this is where teacher treating have shared just now. Inside the EIP program, they have educational and therapeutic support based on the child's delay, and also it applies to across children. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really fixated on children with special needs. Even some other neurotypical child or children without any underlying issues or without any diagnosis, they have difficulty, they can attend EIP based on what they have missing in the four aspect or four domain of developmental milestone. Okay, and then the process is to get into the EIP, and then you have observation under 1 month, and then that's where the plan. Okay, and the age is between 2 to 6, right?
Yeah, actually less than 2.
Less than 2. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of just to add on, many parents, they think that okay, you come into EIP program, you need to undergo screening, you need to undergo diagnosis, you need to undergo a lot of process. What if my children is not diagnosed with any of the difficulties? I just feel like somehow my child needs some support in learning. So this is where they comes in. Okay, I just feel like my kids, there are something that I need to work on to actually get support. So this is where you come in, because EIP, in a way, it is a school. Okay. It is a school for the kids where they comes in. Okay, you learn academic. Okay, you learn the 4 domains. All our lessons are being designed in a way. We have physical play. We have we need them to learn life skill, language development. Okay, motor skill. So in a way, it is a school. Okay, whereby your child comes in, and we do the observation when your child is attending the school, which is the first month. So when we know about your child, what are the things that is missing and what are the things that we can do to actually support the child further.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question. Is there some program that can help 5 to 6 years old that focus on socialize? Like help them to interact?
Help them to merely help them to for social interaction. Okay, so because today our topic is EIP. So EIP, there is what you call that, there is this element, okay, whereby we focus on communication and social interaction. Okay, of course, when you comes in, okay, we will do the observation, and if okay the child is missing in this part, of course the design of the activity will be based on to actually pump up the socialization skill, the interaction skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first you have to observe the child first, and then to see how to help. Like if the child really have difficulty in socializing, then you can come up with the program. Okay. So also later, in the end, we will share teacher treating's EIP contact, because and then if you have any question, you can, like, we cannot answer now because sometimes teacher treating might need more information. You can contact them, and then they can cater to your question. But based on this question, Miss Kimberly, teacher treating said they in EIP they can address, they can work on socialization.
Correct.
Okay.
But because it depends on the observation that we do. But of course, if the child needs more stimulation on the interaction part, So we will need to look further on that also.
Additional help.
Correct. Additional
Yeah.
help on that, additional support on that.
Ah,
Of course, in group setting, when you come in, okay, in group setting, we will observe all 4 domains. Yeah.
Teacher Cheating, can you share the place where you do EIP?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so those who join us today, they can know, do you have like,
A brochure?
yeah,
Is it?
anything that you can
Okay.
share?
Let me check.
Okay, Miss Kimberly, other than EIP, is there any school program that help and focus on interaction? Yeah, normally in school setting, like in primary school that I know, they call extra curriculum. Okay, like they have like badminton, but at the moment, some parents have shared to me in a way like some of the group activity like swimming, yes, they do it in a group, but because when you go into the pool, you hardly interact with other kids. Okay, some of the parents that share with me, share with Mind Story, activity like basketball, badminton, because we all have to communicate in order to carry out the sport. Okay, football, uh, okay, for kindergarten and any school at the moment, I'm not sure because different kindergarten have different program. And most of these extracurricular activity are done outside. For example, like if your local near you have a badminton court that have called Ching, or near you you have a football field for
We call it enrichment. Enrichment program. Yeah, because there are enrichment program that help children to actually do on the social interaction. For example, some public speaking activities, public speaking program, speech and drama program.
Yeah.
So all this is actually strengthen to strengthen the
Yeah.
foundation of interacting with others.
Yeah, because at the moment, it depends on that kindergarten. Some of them, they have this kind of services, some of them not. But around us, Mind Story in Subang, at the moment, I have yet to explore because normally parents or other professionals that when they share is normally outside of school. It's not during the school setting. So for like for like older kids, like let's say primary one, normally government school or private school, they have their own extracurricular activity provided inside their school. Okay, so this is the area where they call social group. Okay, thank you for asking. So at the moment, because like yeah, you can let us know because with some like Teacher Treating said she might need more information at the moment because we talk about EIP, but feel free to ask us any question and we try to answer as much as possible and provide any suggestion because this is like an open discussion that we have. Okay, so it's good that you asked this and yeah, so we can share as much as possible with all of you based on what we know lah. Okay. All right. So Teacher Treating, do you have?
Let me share the screen. Okay, actually currently my EIP program is in Sri Pinta. It's a newly set up early intervention center. Okay, it's located in United Point. So if you need any further information, you can actually call this number.
Yeah.
019 269 2119.
Okay, let me write down the phone number 019 269 2119. What's the name?
With Sri Pinta Early Intervention Center.
Sri Intervention Center.
Yeah. For Miss Kimberly, if you need any further information, Teacher Charlie, maybe you can get her contact number so that we can actually call Miss Kimberly to further help her on her concern on the social interaction part.
Yep, sure.
Programs that we can around us we can actually refer.
Yeah. So you can inbox us, and then we will contact you. And at the moment, Teacher Treating is on the. It's still under Mind Story. It's just that this is the new program they start up with kindergarten, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Because actually, Sri Pinta is they have a preschool. Okay. In United Point itself, Sri Pinta is actually a preschool and also an early intervention center.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why Teacher Treating is currently running the EIP, and we have, like, I personally met some parents that have concern about EIP. So I also in the process of understanding about EIP, because I mostly work on the therapies side. So when someone asks me about EIP, or when doctor suggested EIP, this is where I leave it to those who are running it to explain. Because I myself, I'm not very well versed with early intervention program, because my early intervention has different what I call this understanding from Teacher Treating. Hers is more academic and therapeutic. Mine is slightly different because I didn't know about this side of EIP. Okay, and also we are almost at the end of our talk. There's one question that parents and I myself also would like to ask.
Sure.
What is the difference between like school readiness or class readiness program and EIP?
Okay, class readiness program, you mean the academic support? Okay, and EIP program.
Yes.
So EIP program is actually cater for children, okay, who is 6 years old or under 6 years old.
Below, okay.
Below 6 years old. So for academic support or class readiness, okay, for those who has undergo EIP, okay, early intervention program, and the gap is I would say it's still there, and they still need the support, okay, to actually get them transit into a normal learning environment, a formal learning environment. But maybe, okay, there is a possibility, maybe they are in early intervention late at the age of 5 or 6.
Okay.
So the early intervention, they only cater for 6 and below 6. So when they start on 5 to 6 years old, so, and also for the academic support, it caters for more than 7 and above, 7 years old and above.
Yeah. Because some of them that joined us today might also seen our last talk where we talk about class readiness by Teacher Hani. So both Teacher Hani and Teacher Treating is our in-house SEN teacher. It's just that they are running different programs. So for those who join us on the last talk, when we talk about class readiness, basically it's a stepping stone, it's a transition. Because when we talk about school or class readiness, it's about skills other than academic. Okay, so from my experience, a lot of us are focusing on academic when the child transitioning to kindergarten to primary. So sometimes the gap can be quite big. So that's where class readiness come in, because when you go to primary 1 and above, it's not about additional or mathematics, or writing. There's more than that. Can the child,
the resiliency of the child,
correct,
can the child cope, the coping style of the child. So all these are academic support is actually focusing on all these issue
Yeah.
of the child. Yeah.
Correct. So, and there's support based on classroom readiness and also school. Is the child ready? Okay. Because we talk about in general, like if let's say we focus on academic, so is the child academically ready? It might be, is the child ready in terms of English, BM, Mandarin, sometimes mathematics or sciences. So these are academically, but when we talk about class, is the child ready to be in a classroom setting or school setting? So now I can see, after you sharing about EIP, I can see somewhat the similarity. Okay, so basically for a younger child, EIP also is like addressing the gap. So similarly, like what I learned from teacher Hani, where when they transition kindergarten to primary one, okay, it can be language barrier, like what teacher Hani have shared in her classroom, whereby the child can be from a English speaking kindergarten, and then when they go to Chinese school or they go to Tamil school or they're going to Bahasa school, that's where they need time. They will struggle for a while. Yeah. So similarly, like you shared today, like a child doesn't have to be special needs. It can be or without special needs. So let's say in 3 years old, time to go play school, but they have difficulty. Like after 1 or 2 months, still crying, emotionally, like they cannot leave the parents. Parents have to escort them into the school setting. So this is where EIP can help them to address, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And then also for those who are receiving one-to-one, they one-to-one therapy. This is particularly for those who in those with special needs, where time for them to upgrade or transition to group, they can also join EIP. So this is where the differences are, they are catered to different age, but most of them are addressed in more rounded,
Holistic way.
Yes,
Yeah, correct. Because actually a multidisciplinary approach, whereby actually if you see both EIP and also academic support, we what we do is we basically focus on the transition, and also of course to bridge the gap. So for example, academic support, what we do is depending on what is the need of the child. So this child maybe he needs additional support on a certain subject. So maybe there is a possibility that the child has a problem, adapting in the new environment. That is also where the need of academic support comes in.
Teacher Chuitik, we have a question.
Yeah.
May I know if the child is in EIP program, is it necessary to have separate speech and occupational therapy?
Okay, the child, okay, when the child is, there's a need in, when the child is engaging in EIP program, okay, because, okay, speech and occupational therapy, it address, I would say it address a one-to-one, it is a one-to-one setting. It is a one-to-one intervention. Okay, so for example, when you go to, when a child, okay, a pediatrician or a developmental, specialist, okay, when they diagnose this child, okay, have a certain, delay, they need speech, they need, occupational therapy. So once they are in that, therapy, one-to-one therapy setting, EIP program is actually a transition for them to actually apply the skill that they learn in that one-to-one therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like you shared just now, when you observe, when the child goes to EIP program, then when you observe the child require additional help.
Correct. Additional help.
That's where they can engage in separate speech or OT.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
because if the child comes in, okay, the EIP program, after the observation and after the EIP program. So there will be a review on the IEP, on the individualized educational program. If there is a need for additional help in speech or in occupational therapy, actually there are occupational therapists who does screening, who does assessment. That is where the SEN teacher will, refer. It's actually a vice versa. It's for the special needs kids who do one-to-one therapy to apply it in EIP, or when you see your child has has delay in the developmental milestone, you come in for EIP program first, whereby because when there is a stimulation, there is a therapeutic effect in EIP. So where a teacher actually do a close observation if there is a need for speech therapists or occupational therapists to come in for an assessment.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, SEN teacher will do the possible, referral. Yes, so that the therapist can see, is there a need? Yeah.
Okay. So in other way, we can do it two ways. Those children who come in with diagnosis, if recommended by doctor, then definitely they will need separate speech or OT. But for those who doesn't have diagnosis and you see that there's a delay, you join EIP, and then that's where the teacher see if the child required separate, then you can let the parents know. Okay, so basically there's two ways we can do it, and also and if you already have diagnosis for this particular parent, if you already have diagnosis from the doctor saying that they recommend to do this OT and speech, then it will be separate from the EIP because like what teacher treating have shared, EIP is a group setting. It's not a one-to-one setting. So if the child required, then it's necessary to do it. Thank you for asking. So this is a very good question actually. So it helps to, it allows teacher treating to clarify, and those who join us can learn also. All right. Okay, so we are already at the end of the talk. So thank you, teacher treating, for coming, for joining us this evening to share us about EIP. For those who like to know more about the EIP program run by teacher treating with Mind Story, I already put in the contact number and Sri Pinta intervention. So for those who are interested, you can text that number and then you can inquire more about EIP. Okay, and then also I would like to thank those who joined us today and then ask us questions where we can clarify and share as much as information that we know that with all that attend. Okay, and then also just something that to recap, EIP is applicable not only for children with special needs, but also any other children who are having difficulties in their class, or they slightly delays in certain developmental areas like emotional, physical, cognitive, or social interaction or language. Okay, and also for those who like curious what's the difference between school readiness, class readiness, then basically the differences is just the age. Okay, EIP cater for below 2 until 6, and then for class readiness is most 6 and above. So that's the only difference. But basically, both EIP, our topic today, EIP is more holistic approach. Okay, not only about academic, okay, whether your child is academically ready, but also to prepare your child in terms of other developmental areas. Okay, the 4 areas that we have talked about. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, teacher treating, and thank you everyone for joining us today. If you want to know more, you can check on the number that I've shared in the chat box. And if you want to know what's the next topic we're going to talk about in our monthly talk with Mind Story, you can check out our Facebook on the Facebook page for our upcoming events. Okay, every month we will have talk like this to share information, to create awareness, and also to let parents know what they can do, what are the choices in, for example, therapy or like today, EIP. What is it about? So we can clarify and share information about certain topic. Okay, thank you everyone. See you on the next event. Bye.
Bye.